What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And today I'm going to be reviewing Rise of the Guardians. Well, first of all, happy Easter. Today is Easter Sunday while I'm filming this. But when I post it, it may be Easter, Monday. But, there's not really a lot of good Easter movies. Like, I don't really think, well, first of all, there aren't a lot of Easter movies out there, and there aren't a lot of good ones. So I was like, hey, the closest thing is The Rise of the Guardians, which this movie works for any holiday. It works for Christmas, when you lose a tooth, Easter, and when you wake up in the morning with sand in your eyes. And this is from DreamWorks, obviously the animation company, and it is fantastic. I love this film. I don't know if I've told you before on the channel. I think I've mentioned it a few times before, but there's like a book series about it now. It might have actually come out a few years ago, but there's a book series about it, and this film is really good. And it's not like it's not you wouldn't expect like this sort of movie to be this good. And I feel like a lot of people dismiss animated movies as being too much for kids, and just by looking at them. And I feel like that's not valid about this film at all. This film is actually really deep, and it has a lot of deep messages. There will be spoilers, obviously, in this review if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen Rise of the Guardians, watch it. You need to watch this film. It is probably one of the best DreamWorks has ever made. Like, the Shrek movies, they were fun. This came out, I believe, the same year, like later in the year after Shrek 4 was released. And Shrek 4 was okay. And the other Shrek movies, they're fun, They aren't great, but they're fun. I actually like Shrek 3. I don't hate it. There is some competition. You got the Dragon movies, the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I don't like 2, but 1 and 3 are definitely great. And I think this is right before, like, DreamWorks went downhill, because then, like, later, like, the worst part of rewatching this movie for me on DVD was having to sit through the trailer for The Croods, because I hate that movie. It's a stupid, annoying... It's a stupid movie. Don't watch The Croods. Watch this movie. Just watch it. It works for any holiday. But, it's like... I think I watched it at Christmas time too, but like last year. But like this movie, it's really good. I think it was right before DreamWorks went downhill, because then they had The Croods, and then in 2015 they had Home, that movie about the purple alien. I turned that movie off. But this movie is really deep, and I think it's got a really great message. And it's like, you know, um, these characters, and I think it's because this movie starts and it introduces you to all these characters so quickly, and it doesn't need to take all its time to do all this. It just jumps right into it, and these characters, they already have chemistry, and then you don't need to see it all. And it's like, the thing that really elevates it is the cast. You've got Hugh Jackman as the Easter Bunny. You have Alec Baldwin as Santa, or North, as they call him in the film. You have someone as the Tooth Fairy. I don't remember her name, but she's good in the role, the voice acting role. Chris Pine, I'm serious, guys. Like, his voice talent really adds to animated features. He played the Miles's universe's version of Peter Parker in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Man, his voice is just so good. Chris Pine, Chris Pine, be in more animated movies. He's great in this as Jack Frost, and he just has such a great voice for animated movies. You have Jude Law as the main villain, Pitch the Boogeyman, and Jude Law, he played Albus Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and he played the character in Captain Marvel, whatever his name is. I don't remember his name. Yeah, so it's like, and in case you're wondering why I'm reviewing this movie, it's because it's Easter, and I don't really have a lot of better Easter movies to review. I wanted to do an Easter special. But, it's like, and then, this movie, it came out the same year, 2012, and it came out in November, I believe, and earlier in 2012, if you didn't know, it was the year of the Avengers release. And watching this movie, it definitely tributes a lot of superhero movies, like North sending out the, Northern Lights as the signal to all the Guardians is basically like the bat signal. And the theme, the music, the score it's got a really good score, actually. But they're definitely tributing Alan Silvestri's Avengers theme in this movie, and it's really good music because it doesn't overshadow, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's not overbearingly remember this movie. Like, it's not trying to shove it in your face that it's supposed to be like a superhero movie, but with all these like cultural icons. You know, it's not trying to be like that. And then even the opening, like the DVD, like main menu, has all the characters in, like, you know, those different beams, like those different like rectangles of color, and it's just like the Avengers menu on the Avengers DVD, and so they were totally going for that, because you know they came out the same year. You know, they were totally going for this vibe, and it's really great. It works. It pulls it off really well. Um, um, yeah, you know, it works really well. It's a movie that just it shouldn't work as well as it does, but it just really does work. Um, and you know, the characters, they're great interpretations. They have great banter. You know, it's like in all these scenes, like their lines still get a chuckle out of me. Like in the final battle when they're all jumping around, and you know, the final battle. I don't even need to explain why I think it's so cool. Like just watching all of them take on Pitch in the final battle, like that's just so cool. And the music definitely lends itself to that. But you know, it's like, and you could criticize. You know, the movie is just. It's basically like they sit around a little bit at the North Pole, and then they're like, okay, we have to go here. Now we have to go here, and then they go and fight Pitch a little bit, and they do this and they do that. But you know, it does good world building. You know, you feel sucked into this world. It's really great world building. But you know, I can understand the criticism where it's just like they're sitting around, and Bunny's like, the Tooth Palace is under attack or whatever, and then they just leave. I don't really understand. There's a weird timeline issue, which is like at the beginning of the film, it starts off with the kid. What's his name? Is it Billy? Oh my god, I feel so bad for forgetting his name. Um, is it Billy? I think it's Billy. The boy, the main boy, you know, that Jack's hanging around with, and they don't recognize him. And that's where I think the character arc for Jack gets really good, which we'll talk about that later. But so he's fooling around, and they're having a snowball fight, and then he goes on like this ice track. And what I don't understand is like, it seems like whenever they go sledding in this movie, Jack is like controlling the sled on the ice stream that he's creating. So that's not the weirdest part. But the weirdest part is that like he just goes flying through the city streets for like a straight minute, and they were at like his house or something in like his neighborhood, and then he's like at this statue in the middle of town, and then he gets hit by a couch, and his friends are just walking right there. It's like they weren't keeping pace with that, but it makes it look like they were watching the whole time. It's like no, he didn't go in a loop. He just went through the city. Unless you notice the surroundings were the same and he went in like a large loop or something. Let me know if I just missed that in the comments, because a lot of my criticisms with the movie are and you know, it seems, I understand that to you guys it might seem like a lot of these reviews are a lot of issues that I'm talking about with the film, but the reason why I discuss issues is because I love these movies so much. But I don't really understand that. Like, it's just kind of like they were like way over there, and now they're just standing like right there. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch out for the Tooth Fairy," and then they say Easter is in 3 days or something. Because Bunny's like painting all the eggs, and he's like pacing around, and he's like arguing with everybody, and they're like, "Oh, we need to watch for the Easter Bunny." Billy says that, and he puts the tooth on his pillow because he lost the tooth after he got hit by the couch. But then, like, there's all this stuff happens. Like, Jack meets up with the Guardians, and then they hang out for a little while, and then the Tooth Palace gets attacked. But it's like the Tooth Fairy was there, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, she's back at the Tooth Palace, and then it's like under attack, and then there's like, "Oh, we have to go here now," and then they go there, and it's like, and then later on, it's like, like they're like, "Oh, they're not believing in me anymore because I didn't go to pick up their teeth or whatever." Um, and like that, I'm pretty sure they're trying to say that took place over the span of one day, because like I understand that like it's nighttime when Jack gets kidnapped by Bunny and thrown in the sack, and then gets teleported to the North Pole, but then it's daytime there. Like I understand on different areas of the world time is different, and then but it shows a montage and Pitch is like, all the children are waking up to no, because the Tooth Fairy never came, you know? So they show that, but it's like, then it's like, but Billy just is like still sleeping when they go around and they're trying to make everyone believe in her again, and then they're leaving all the change, but he's like still sleeping, and it's like as if, so what happened? Did he like lose another tooth? Because it's been over a day, like it's a day has passed. It's not like it's been like a few hours, like a day has passed, so he would have woken up and she wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like that's a little weird to me. But that's like a very small criticism. Um, to me, and you know, the like I guess I want to talk about the character arc for Jack Frost. And some people may criticize that, you know, Jude Law's villain character is really bland. I disagree, because I think that that character, I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this movie, but the way that that character, he like kind of, he like tricks them, and he's like this maniacal guy, and he tricks them, and that was his plan to get them all together, and then he tries to manipulate Jack, and it's really interesting because it's like he is basically the dark reflection of Jack himself. And Jack's character arc is really interesting, and the main message of the movie, if you couldn't pick it up already, is anyone is a guardian. And I think that's kind of the way that these characters are, these icons are interpreted in real life, is um, anyone can be them. And I think that's what they're trying to reflect with this film, is anybody can be a guardian. And Jack says that at the end. He's like, you know, that makes you kind of a guardian too. And he's talking to Jamie in the last scene. And that's the thing. Jack's whole character in this movie, he's just going around having fun. And they're all like, oh, well, he's not fit to be Jack Frost. He's not fit to be a guardian or whatever. But the real thing is, like, his character, you know, he just kind of, like, when he's, like, fooling around with the kids, and he's like, oh, come on, that was me, not the Tooth Fairy, and then they walk right through him, and he forgot that he was invisible to them, and that's because he seeks, like, for a purpose. He doesn't have a purpose. Like, that's kind of interesting, is that, where his character, he doesn't remember his past. Everyone else, like, if you've seen the books, if you've read the books, I've read 2 of them. I read there's like the spin-off series. I read Nicholas St. North, and I read the one about the Easter Bunny. And they all tie together. There's a particular order, but they all remember what they used to do. But Jack doesn't remember his past, and they reveal that in that one scene with the Tooth Fairy. And it's interesting, because he doesn't remember his past because he died. I guess, spoiler alert, but he died, yeah, so, like, he was a guardian to his sister, he saved her, and I think that's kind of the thing, is that he's not just a guardian, he's, like, a keeper of hope, sort of, and, because, like, all, like, when like, they're all, like, going out, and the Tooth Fairy is like, I haven't been on the field for, like, 430 years, or whatever, and then when the little girl, Jamie's little brother, or Jamie, that's his name, not Billy, Jamie, and his little sister's running around in Easter Town or whatever, and she's like, look at all the blood and gum on them, and they're unpracticed. They don't know what to do. And then Santa's like, we're too busy bringing joy to children. We can't bring joy to children, and it's played off as a joke, but I feel like that's kind of the main message of the movie, is Jack comes in here, and he kind of makes them all realize what they're doing wrong, and kind of helps them all become better. I don't know if you picked that up, but that's kind of what I picked up from it. But his character in the end, you know, he realizes I have to be a guardian. He realizes he was a guardian. I don't really understand how the teeth work. So they say he calls the one little fairy Baby Tooth. So, and then when the fairy palace or the tooth palace is attacked, they're like, oh, all the teeth were taken. So it's like, I think what happens is they collect the teeth, and then the teeth become the fairies, and then the teeth have the memories in them of the children. Just go along with it, guys. It's an animated movie. And then they put the memories inside of the little boxes with the children's face on them, because you see at the end, once everyone starts believing in them again, the little fairies, they go and, like, touch the boxes, and they put their memories away. So I think that's what they're trying to go for, is, like, they hold the memories, and they're trying to, you know, I think that's what they're trying to go for. I don't know. A lot of my issues with the film, once again, are just kind of things that, I might not have picked up on, but I've never really understood how that works. But yeah, I don't really understand how they work. Like, aren't they just supposed to be teeth? Like, Jack has, like, a lot of chemistry with the Baby Tooth. And I don't know what they're trying to go for with Jack and the Tooth Fairy. Like, I feel like they were trying to go for a little bit of a romance. It's weird. There's a little scene at the end when they're all meeting up, and then they have kind of a weird moment. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what they're trying to go for, because it's like, the way that, like, it's weird, because they're all like, oh, I don't know if Jack's gonna be a good guardian or whatever, and then, like, all the little fairies are kind of fangirling, and so, like, they almost have a crush on Jack. I don't know, it's weird. It's really weird. I don't know what they were trying to go for there, because he's almost like, he's like the popular kid, you know? I don't know what they're trying to go for, but you know, I have very few issues with the film. It's also just really funny. It's really funny and it's really heartfelt, and you know, it has a great message to it. Which I think everyone can take away from it. And it's like I don't feel guilty being a fan of it. You know, I'm not the youngest person, but I'm not the oldest person either. So maybe that's why. But I've shown this to a lot of people, and I still get chuckles out of it. I still really find the part where Santa is like, "Oh, wrong roof," you know. I find a lot of it funny. I think it's a really funny movie, and I think it's really enjoyable. And you know, it's just so cool. Like you know, it's like when they're all fighting pitch at the end, and they're all like coming in there, and it's Santa, and then the Tooth Fairy flies, and I don't know. It's just so cool. It's so cool. Like every time I'm just like, yeah, you know, it's just so cool. So you know, Rise of the Guardians. It's a really great movie. I don't know why I'm talking about it here. It's Easter, Easter Sunday when I'm filming this. I don't really have any other Easter movies because there's not really any good Easter movies, not a lot of Easter movies that are made. So it's to do with all of the holiday heroes, I guess. But the Easter Bunny is a part of this film, and I thought it'd be a good time to discuss um, the film because I've been wanting to discuss this film for a while and just how much I love it. So if you have not watched this film, go watch it. Just do it. Like, give yourself a favor and go watch this film. It's so good. So yeah, you guys, that's the Hobbricks homework assignment. Go watch Rise of the Guardians. That's your task. Go watch Rise of the Guardians if you haven't seen it, because it's a fantastic film. And in case you're wondering about my MCU re-review series, I don't really have any plans for that series right now. I have a lot going on right now. In case you're wondering, I'll clarify this in a different video, but I've got a lot going on right now, and my week is really busy. So I'm gonna promise the only reviews I can try to. I'm not even gonna promise them, but I'm gonna try and get a review out for Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, and Infinity War. Those are the only 3 movies I'm gonna promise I'm gonna get reviews out before the movie for, because you know we've only got a week. I'm working on a TV spot for Avengers Endgame right now, like a Lego TV spot recreation right now, and my life is really busy. I've got a ton of stuff going on right now, so yeah, just clarify that. Just to clarify what's going on with that MCU re-review series. It's Easter today, and I just wanted to review an Easter-related movie, Rise of the Guardians, and you guys go watch this movie. If you haven't seen it before, it might be on Netflix, I don't know, but if you haven't seen it, just go watch it. Just go watch this movie. Do yourself a favor. Just watch Rise of the Guardians. It's like such a great movie. One of the best DreamWorks movies, if not the best. It's got some competition with the How to Train Your Dragon films, definitely How to Train Your Dragon 1 and How to Train Your Dragon 3, but I'm rambling on. You guys go watch Rise of the Guardians, and I hope you guys have a happy Easter. Have a great day. Take care.